What if the moment your soul has been waiting for isn't somewhere in the future, but right here in the quiet shift you've been feeling? This episode is a doorway back to yourself, a remembrance, a soft awakening, a return to the woman you've always been beneath your story. Come listen, your soul has something to show you. Welcome, beloved soul. I'm here to talk to you today about the soul's turning point, when the soul returns to itself. This isn't about age. This is about a curve of the soul, a quiet turning point that can appear at any stage of life. It doesn't show up on calendars. It isn't taught in school. It arrives in whispers, sometimes as fatigue, sometimes as clarity, sometimes as a deep knowing that something must change. Carl Jung said the first half of life is devoted to building the ego, and the second half is about returning to the soul. But that return doesn't wait for a birthday. It begins the moment you no longer tolerate masks, roles, or stories that are not yours. For some, that moment comes in later years. For others, it comes much earlier, in a heartbreak, a loss, or a simple breath of awakening. This turning point isn't about the body slowing down. It's about the soul speeding up. It's about truth taking root. And that return, it is not gentle. It strips away masks. It dissolves the need to please. It brings old wounds to the surface, not to hurt you again, but to be integrated. At this sacred threshold, something sacred happens. The ambition to achieve fades. The craving to be useful dissolves. The soul no longer tolerates roles that were never truly yours to begin with. Instead, it asks, what still moves me? What part of me remains untouched by expectation? Who am I when I no longer need to be needed by others? This is not depression. It is clarity. It is the soul redirecting itself, not outward, but inward, to a new understanding of yourself. It is a curve no one tells you about, but if you listen closely, it becomes the road that leads you home. When the soul is ready, we begin to release the old illusions, the need for approval, the weight of perfection, the habit of saving everyone but ourselves. We look in the mirror and see ourselves without filters, without apologies, without lies. And those who have the courage to walk through this gate discover something really rare, that the soul never ages. It simply returns to its purest form. And what looked like an ending reveals itself as a beginning. The beauty of this stage is not found in youth or titles. It is found in freedom. It radiates in eyes that have seen much and still open to wonder. It speaks in pauses between words, in silences that no longer ache but heal. It is a beauty without makeup, without striving, without masks. And for that very reason, it is the rarest kind. When masks fall away, women blossom. They stop apologizing. They stop softening their strength. They stop asking for permission. They live not for the gaze of others, but from the rhythm of their own soul. This turning point asks us to forgive those who never knew how to love properly. to release inherited fears, to open the inner drawers and clear the rubble of sacrifices never named, to say yes with our whole heart, to say no without any guilt at all. It asks us to remember, you were never here to be useful. You were here to be whole. Perhaps you feel it now, that longing to stop living for others and begin living from within yourself. The curve doesn't ask how old you are. It only asks, are you ready to listen? And it simply awaits your asking, what are you trying to tell me? Perhaps you feel it, that you no longer recognize yourself in the roles you once wore, that there is a longing rising inside you, quiet but insistent, pulling you back to what truly matters. This isn't selfish. It is awakening. It is your soul finally allowed to breathe in its own rhythm again. In the season of return, the soul speaks a new language, not conquest, but integration, not speed, but depth, not proving, but presence. And if you are here listening to these words, I believe your soul is ready to walk this road home. So let me offer you this mantra to anchor this turning point in your own heart. I return to myself. I no longer abandon my truth. I am whole. I am luminous, and I am free. I know I'm deep. I know I'm an old soul. And I resonate with all of this because this has been the path that I've been on. And while it does feel like the dark night of the soul sometimes, there is light, and it is luminous, and it really puts it all into perspective that our lives are well lived. And if we can ask what it all means and what our soul is trying to tell us, we do find our own way home. So please make the time to listen, create the space to go down that deep hole into the depth of your soul and heal yourself truly from the inside out. And now, a gentle identity inquiry to illuminate the doorway home. What would your life look like if you lived from your soul instead of your story? And then, well, what if your story was never the whole truth, just the doorway? Make time to open the doorway to your soul. Create space to navigate through the dark night of your soul and heal yourself from the inside out. With so much love and gratitude for being here with me on this journey, may 2026 be a year of great awakening and conscious living for all of us. There's more to come, and I look forward to being here with you. I'll meet you here next time. I'm Marci Lubore, and I'll meet you here next time on Natural Healing at Your Fingertips.